Good afternoon and many thanks for joining us on News on the Hour. I'm David Alabi and here are stories making the headlines. Now we begin our bulletin with the report that the Federal Executive Council meeting on Wednesday reviewed upward a contract for road project in Enugu State. The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, briefed State House correspondents at the end of FEC meeting chaired by Acting President Yemi Osinbajo at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. He was with the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed. According to him, the project, which was initially awarded at the cost of 10.3 billion naira in 2012, was to serve 6 different communities. He said that the project suffered failed implementation due to lack of funding. Given reasons for the increase, he said that there is also need to provide for erosion control. The presidency has revealed that President Muhammadu Buhari will return from his ongoing 10-day vacation as scheduled. This is contrary to media reports that the president would be extending his vacation. A screenshot of the misleading article was shared on the Twitter handle of the presidency, which reads, "The story from February 2017 is currently being mischievously circulated on social media platforms to create the impression that it's related to the president's current vacation." Now, the House of Representatives Committee on Electoral Matters has just begun a meeting with the Independent National Electoral Commission. Top on the agenda is the budget for the 2019 polls. Our next chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, is attending. The committee is chaired by Aisha Duku. And members of the Kaduna State House of Assembly have elected a new deputy speaker. This was sequel to the defection of the erstwhile deputy speaker, John Audu Kwaturu of Kechia constituency from the ruling All Progressives Congress to the opposition's People Democratic Party. The speaker, Aminu Abdullahi Shagali, had dismissed the reasons adduced by John Audu Kwaturu and another defecting lawmaker, Junaidu Yakubu of Kudan constituency, saying they were not tenable since there was no crisis or rancor in APC at both the state and national levels. He ruled that the 2 lawmakers must vacate their seats. Consequently, the lawmaker representing Makera constituency, Dahiru Liman, nominated Nuhu Goro Sadadalafia of Kagoko constituency as the new deputy speaker, and Ahmed Mohammed of Zaria Kewaye constituency seconded the motion. The new deputy speaker, Nuru Gohoro Sadalafia, until now was chairman, House Committee on Information. Ahead of the 2019 general elections, the All Progressives Congress APC is set to choose its presidential candidate during its presidential primary, scheduled to hold on October 6 this year. The party, in its statement yesterday, announced that primary elections for the party's ticket for State House of Assembly will hold on September 15, while that of the House of Representatives will hold on September 19. The statement further said the primary election for the Senate would hold on September 23, while governorship primaries would hold on September 28. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari, who is the front-runner for the party's presidential ticket, is currently contending with at least 4 party members who have indicated intentions to run for presidency. The Lagos State chapter of the All Progressives Congress APC held a stakeholders meeting at the party secretariat on Akme Road, Ogba, where the APC national leader Asiwaju Bola Tinubu said it was gratifying to report that the party had resolved to register additional members, adding that membership register would be open to facilitate the process, which eventually would be used for direct primaries.
That we stand for is progress of this country, how to build a better nation through a better party. We embrace democracy. That's why we are here to consult our members. And they are saying we are committed to APC. We appeal to all our members to update the membership registration and embrace the direct primary that has just been introduced and adopted by our party. We are committed to our party. We are committed to the value we see direct primary as Buhari's anti-corruption internal democracy revolution. We are going to embrace that. You win, the party is gone back to the owners of the party. That is you, the people. It's not we, the few. It's we, the people. We are giving power to the people. And it's starting from APC. So we want to collectively say a big thank you to Asiwaju for championing this silent revolution. And it's very simple. What we are saying, if we know that Lagos State is truly controlled by APC, we will champion a revolution that has never been witnessed before in this country. That means each member of our great party will now determine who becomes the president of this country, and by so doing, we create the championship.
That was APC leader Asiwaju Bola Tinubu and Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode at the state APC stakeholders meeting in Ogba. Now, Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has sued the Director General, National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Sule Kazari, and the NYSC over failure to publish specific documents and information on Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun's application for NYSC exemption, and also seeking to compel them to explain if Mrs. Adeosun obtained an exemption certificate from the NYSC. The suit followed SERAP's Freedom of Information request dated August 2 this year to General Kazari, giving him 7 days to provide information on specific details and documents on the exemption certificate applied for and obtained by Mrs. Adeosun, clarify whether the NYSC actually granted her the exemption certificate, and if it did, the circumstances, the provisions of the NYSC Act under which the exemption certificate was granted. No date has been fixed for hearing. Moving on to other developments now, the United States Embassy has suspended consular services and appointments in Abuja till further notice. It explained that appointments for visa and for American citizen services have also been put on hold temporarily. Consular operations in Lagos were, however, not affected. The mission said in a statement on its website on Tuesday. No reason was given for the decision. The message read, until further notice, all consular appointments at the U.S. Embassy in Abuja have temporarily ceased for both visa and for American citizen services. Consular functions in U.S. Consulate Lagos are not affected and will continue. Scheduled visa and ACS applicants for Abuja will be contacted for rescheduling. To some sad development now, one person has been confirmed dead while 3 others were injured after a suspected militant attacked a passenger at Ikot Nkoripo end of Abak Iwokem Road in the Itim Ipo local government area of Akwa Ibom State. The police public relations officer in the state, DSP Odiko Ubuche, said on Tuesday that the hoodlums shot at the bus when the driver refused to stop after they flagged down the vehicle. He added that when the driver eventually stopped, one of the passengers had died. The PPRO said the driver of another bus which had appeared at the scene veered off the road in panic and crashed into a building before the bus caught fire. The rest of the news continues shortly. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. Glad to have you back, and if you're just joining us, you're watching news on the hour on Plus TV Africa. It's now about a time when we bring you news across the rest of Africa. President Yoweri Museveni of Uganda on Wednesday said he was not hurt in a Monday attack on his convoy in northwestern Ugandan district of Arua. Mr. Museveni, in a statement issued, said opposition supporters threw stones at one of his cars where he put some luggage, breaking the rear glass window. He said the attack could have resulted into several deaths if his security details had resorted to using live ammunition. He said during the scuffle, one of the attackers, who has since been identified as Yasin Kawuma, was shot dead. ZANU-PF legal team advocates Louis Uriri and Paul Mnangagwa charged after filing their papers in Harare today. President Mnangagwa has filed his opposing paper to the MDC Alliance, losing candidate Nelson Chamisa's election petition, challenging the former's victory in the July 30 harmonized elections. Lead Defense Counsel advocate Louis Uriri confirmed that the opposing papers have been filed at the Constitutional Court, indicating that they were ready to argue the matter.
We have successfully filed our opposition papers to this application, which we think is just a waste of time, but that's for the court to decide. The next step will be for the MDC Alliance to file an answering affidavit to our papers, and then from there, the court will set down the matter for hearing. Our team of legal practitioners is ready to meet the MDC Alliance in court.
The UN Refugee Agency has expressed its concern about forced eviction by militia of 1,900 internally displaced persons from Trik al-Mata settlement in Tripoli, Libya. Trik al-Mata was the largest IDP settlement in Tripoli, which hosted about 370 families, originally from the city of Tawega, living in the settlement since it was established in the year 2011. According to residents, a local militia forced the entire population of Trik al-Mata to flee their homes last week after 3 nights of indiscriminate raiding and the unlawful arrest of 94 residents, 12 of whom are still detained by the militia in dismal conditions. When we return, we bring you news from the foreign scene. Don't go anywhere. And on the foreign scene, rescuers in the northwestern Italian city of Genoa continue to search for possible survivors after the dramatic collapse of a motorway bridge. The Interior Minister said at least 35 people were killed when dozens of victims fell off. About 16 people were injured in the collapse, and the number missing ranges from 4 to 12. About 250 firefighters from across Italy are taking part in the search using sniffer dogs and climbing gear. More than 400 people have been evacuated amidst fears other parts of the bridge might just fall. A criminal high court in the Egan province of Izmir on Wednesday rejected American pastor Andrew Craig Brunson's appeal to end his house arrest and lift a travel ban on him. Recently, the court had allowed Mr. Brunson to be moved from jail and placed him under house arrest in view of his health problems. Mr. Brunson is charged with spying for the PKK, a designated terrorist group in the US and Turkey, and the Fethullah terrorist organization, the group behind the defeated July 2016 coup attempt in Turkey, which martyred 251 people and injured thousands. Human Rights Watch HRW on Wednesday criticized the Bangladeshi authorities for arbitrarily detaining peaceful protesters and tracking people on social media following recent mass student protests. In late July, a wave of protests erupted in the country's capital of Dhaka as students took to the streets to call for safer roads after 2 college undergraduates were killed by a speeding bus on Dhaka Airport Road. Media reported that police fired rubber bullets at the protesters while there were violently clashes between students and government supporters going at the same time. According to HRW, law enforcement did not interfere when pro-government activists beat up protesters, with police officers even raiding some residential areas in the capital, checking people's mobile phones in the process to check whether or not they were linked to the protests. The man being held on suspicion of terrorism after Westminster car crash has been named as Salih Carter by government sources. The 29-year-old British citizen, originally from Sudan, has been questioned in North and South London. Police have been searching 3 addresses in Birmingham and Nottingham as part of their investigation.
Well, this individual is in his late 20s. He's a British citizen. He came from another country originally, but at the moment that's all. He is obviously helping police, hopefully, with the investigation. And I think what you'll see is, I have to be careful not to impinge on that investigation. We have to give the police space to follow it up and identify what they need to do to make sure that hopefully we can be as sure as possible this is a one-off individual and not part of a broader attack. There is no indication to say there is, and in fact at the moment it's only being treated at the moment as a terrorist incident, and we haven't yet fully confirmed that either.
It's now time to talk business with Eddie Young. Stay tuned.
Well, this is Business News, and I'm Edidiong Iwang. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation has announced plans to establish a $100,000 barrel per day brownfield refinery each in Port Harcourt River State, and in Warri Delta State. It said the plan is part of its refinery co-location initiative designed to boost local refining capacity to end the era of petroleum product importation. The Group Managing Director of NNPC, Maikanti Baru, says a group of investors have commenced the process of relocating a refinery that used to be owned by BP from Turkey to Nigeria. While a total of 197 billion naira has been invested in the construction of 26,202 houses across Nigeria. Now, this was announced by the federal government, which confirmed that the funds were used for the renovation of 13,935 homes across the nation. According to Ahmed Dangiwa, the Managing Director of Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, the federal government is committed to affordable housing for its citizens. On this note, he said the FMBN had planned to enhance home affordability, eliminate down payments and relative costs associated to mortgage loan arrangements. He said that the projects were expected to inject over 2,000 housing units into the housing stock by 2020. He, however, noted that access to land title and cost of infrastructure were major challenges affecting the sector. While global oil prices have dropped with gloomier global economic outlook as well as the rising U.S. crude inventories, while Brent crude oil futures dropped by 50 cents to trade at $71.96, while West Texas Intermediate also dropped by 55 cents to trade at $66.49 per barrel. Well, this comes with the U.S. crude stocks rising by 3.7 million barrels in the week till the 10th of August, to 410.8 million barrels as reported by American Petroleum Institute. This has also called for concerns by investors on the health of the world economy at a time of escalating trade disputes between the U.S. and its major trading partners. Well, that's it on Business News. But still to come on Plus TV is our roundup on entertainment and sports. We'll be back in a moment.
And in entertainment, gospel artist Yinka Ayefele's radio house is set to be demolished by the Oyo State government based on their claim that the building is on the right-of-way for the planned 8-lane road expansion in Ibadan. And according to reports, over 150 people earn a living in the building. According to a source, Governor Ajimobi is going to demolish the building as a lot of things in the building are not approved. Yinka Ayefele is yet to personally speak on the issue. Reality star and daughter of movie director Doug McHenry, Lyric McHenry, has been found dead. According to the New York Post, she was 20 weeks pregnant and her body was discovered in a pajama top and underwear on a sidewalk in Highbridge. Reports also say she was found with a Ziploc filled with drugs, probably cocaine. An investigation is still ongoing to know if she was dumped at the isolated location. She clocked 26-year-old recently and she celebrated with friends at Friedrich Hotel, Dream Downtown in Lower Manhattan in New York. Reports reaching us say U.S. actor and actress Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck may need to refile for their divorce, as a judge in Los Angeles Superior Court has said if they can't settle their case, which Jennifer filed since April last year, then the divorce will be called off. A source claims Jennifer is giving Ben time to sort out his health and alcohol addiction issues. The source further says the reason the 46-year-old actress is patient is because of their 3 children. On Monday, the 13th of August, Affleck was spotted joining an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, and reports say he's focused on getting clean and sober. And that's it on entertainment, the very best in sports, right after this.
Hello and welcome to Sports Update on Plus TV Africa. I'm Morumfolu Kufeji. In the latest transfer news, Super Eagles defender Ola Aina has joined Italian Serie A club Torino on loan for the rest of the season. This comes just after he signed a new contract with Premier League club Chelsea. The 21-year-old has spent over a decade at Stamford Bridge and has extended his contract with the Blues until 2021. He made 6 appearances for Chelsea, the last being in May 2017. He also spent last season on loan at English Championship side Hull City. Aina has made 5 appearances for the Super Eagles of Nigeria since making his debut in 2017. And Croatia striker Mario Mandzukic has announced his retirement from international football. The 32-year-old forward was part of the Croatia squad that reached the nation's first World Cup final this summer. The Juventus striker scored 3 times at the World Cup, including the winning goal against England in the semi-final, and he scored at both ends in the 4-2 final defeat to France on the 15th of July. The striker has scored 33 goals in 89 appearances for Croatia and ends his international career as Croatia's second highest goal scorer. The 32-year-old believes now is the right time to bow out after an incredible summer. And finally, in tennis, 23-time Grand Slam winner Serena Williams was beaten 6-3, 2-6, 6-3 by Petra Kvitova of Czech Republic in a second-round match at Cincinnati on Tuesday. This ended her bid for a 3rd title at the event. The second-round loss for the 2-time Cincinnati champion comes on the back of her heaviest career defeat, a 6-1, 6-love loss to Britain's Joanna Konta in the Silicon Valley Classic first round. This is another setback for the former world #1 as she attempts to get back to the top ranking after a difficult childbirth last year. That's it on Sports Update. I'm Morumfolu Kufeji.
Many thanks, Morumfolu. And sport wraps our news roundup of events at this hour. For more news, updates and broadcast, please follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And do remember to subscribe to our YouTube page at Plus TV Africa. We'll be back later with more stories making the headlines in Nigeria, across Africa and the rest of the world. Good afternoon. I'm David Alabi.